Okay, today we're going to look at planting tomatoes. And what we're dealing with here is the heirloom Brandywine tomatoes. And what it says for these is to plant 1/4 inch deep. And it's an 85-day to maturity harvest. And this particular variety of tomatoes were established or were, I guess, classified in 1885, so it's a pretty old seed stock. It's from Burpees, so this is what we're doing today. And I have previously made a video on how I like to make my soil, and so I like to try to have, a couple days or one good long solid day in order to do all my seedlings up and get as many trays put up as possible. So yesterday I did some, today I'm doing some, and the soil's had a chance to dry out a little bit, and you can see here. Well, we'll zoom in on the soil and the planting here, so you can see how nice this soil looks. Okay, so anyway, yesterday we made our special batch, and as you can see, you squeeze it, it holds together, but it just nicely falls apart when you poke it, and that's a good consistency. It's still a little wet, and on these 1/4 inch tomatoes, we want to get the soil level just so, and then when we tamp it down, you can see, we can bring it up a 1/4 inch just about to where that line is right there, and we know, the tomatoes they're very fine seed, and I'd say they're probably one of the ones that are going to be a little bit more picky on the depth as far as not too deep. I don't know if you could put them a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch deep and if they'd make it. So I really pay close attention to the soil depth on the tomatoes. And as you can see, what I do here, is I just get my tray right here. I got my bucket right at standing height. I don't have to bend over. It makes it pretty ergonomically nice. Now that I have all those done, I'll come back in here and tamp these down. See where we're at. You can see this one right here is a little too deep, so we'll come in and just add a little. This is, one of the things, if you had, an abundance of seeds, like next year I might not take as much care because I'll be harvesting probably thousands of heirloom seeds this year, tomato seeds. But since we're dealing with a finite amount, we want to make sure that we're right on the depth there. So now I keep them all in these little baggies. We'll go ahead, and I've already planted some of these. Wanted to make note of what I've done for the last couple years is I'll plant some new seeds about every 4 to 5 weeks. That extends the harvest. So, by your first batch that you do, we'll start having mature plants. Mature tomatoes, you'll be pulling those off and enjoying those. And once that variety pans out, or that batch pans out, the next batch that you put up 5 weeks after starts panning out, and then after that you have your third batch, and that extends your harvest period on the tomatoes greatly. Literally can have fresh tomatoes on your windowsill for months. And we just dropped a tomato seed in the pot. Let's see if we can find that boy. I don't know. So, yep, we managed to find it amazingly enough. So, maybe we will go in with 2 seeds. It seems last time I did this, almost every seed germinated, and I had to come back and separate them out. It was manually super intensive. So I told myself, never again. We have such good germination success on these that we'll just stick with 1 per plant. That way we don't have to mess with them on the separating of them. So, forgot one crucial important part here, which is the osmocote. So I don't know if you can see that. We got 1 centered on each plant. We'll go ahead and just put just a very little bit right over the seed and move that around here. This will put your osmocote fertilizer just a little bit above the seed. That way you'll have the gravity or the seed being underneath it, give you a little bit of extra fertilizer for it. Sometimes it's really not necessary, but for whatever reason, we just do it that way. Ooh, too much on that one. Just lightly, lightly, lightly. The fertilizer. A little bit much there too. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's spread these out a little bit. This one's a bit much. We'll rob some, put it over here. Spread it out a little bit. Okay. That's that. A little bit more on top. This keeps it from heavy rainstorms knocking that fertilizer out. Does the job. All right. Now 1/8 inch deep is not very deep. So you want to be careful not to put too much. Then we just come back in here and just lightly, very lightly, I mean basically no pressure. We're just making sure it's nice and even on our depth. Now we're looking good there.